Hello, I'm Kirsty.
And I'm Dieter.
Welcome to Some Loosemore, a channel dedicated to the hobby of board games.
Now, we think board gaming is a great hobby and we would love for as many people to get involved as possible. So last time we gave some tips for introducing your friends to games, what kinds of games to look at, how to teach them. And this week we would like to give you some of our tips for those of you who are new in going about finding a new game to try for yourself.
So we're going to start with our 3 top tips, and number 1 is do the research. So before you set out on buying a game, make sure you know how many players it needs to play it, how much time it takes to play it, and whether or not it's a good game.
There are a couple of really good websites that will help you do this. We will put links to both of those below. The biggest database website we know is called Board Game Geek. Loads of people use it. You can just search the name of a game and it will tell you all about it. But you can look up other YouTube channels, or we'll do some as well, where we suggest games or we talk about a new game that might have come out. That will give you an idea what it's about. I like to watch other people playing it, so I know whether it would be something that I'm interested in, but that's not as much as not what you'd be into. You'd rather maybe see a review but look at it yourself, wouldn't you?
And of course the best way to learn whether you like a game or not is to play it. So if you've got friends or family who own certain games, there are a number of gaming cafes and stuff out there with a selection of games. So if you're interested in games, see if you can get an opportunity to play it with others, play it with just a couple of players, play it with more players, and then you'll get a feel for whether it's for you or not.
And the other thing, the other website really helpful is a price comparison website. Again, we'll put a link below. It's one that we use. It doesn't have every single seller of board games, but it has probably the top 2 that we use, and loads of other ones, including Amazon, or the normal ones you'd think of. So we'll put a link to that below. Don't just buy it the first place that you see it. It might be more expensive there than you can actually get it somewhere else online for much cheaper. So yeah, do your research.
Be quite realistic with how you're going to play it most regularly. If you host a lot of parties, a lot of games nights, then maybe choose a game that appeals to more people or can accommodate more people. But if there's just 1 or 2 of you at home, if it's just going to be you playing, choose a 1-player game. There's no point choosing a 3 to 5 player game if there's only you who sit down to play the game. So for us, we often choose just a 2-player game, because that's the situation we find ourselves most commonly in.
Or at least games that work well at 2. It may have other players as well, so we can invite other people to play with us.
Yeah.
So that's our first top tip. Do your research. Quite obvious. The second top tip should hopefully be just as obvious, is prepare to play.
Yeah, so similar to the research, you need to prepare yourself to play the game. So maybe set it out, read through all the rules, the instructions, just familiarise yourself with the game before you actually play it. Invest that bit of time into it. It will be worth it at the end. Again, as Dieter said, watch some videos online once you've bought it. Just familiarise yourself with the mechanics and the characters and the theme, and then you'll have a much better experience.
Yeah, particularly if this is a large multiplayer game and you're going to have some friends around who also don't know the game. You're all just going to have a much smoother experience if you have, as Kirsty said, practice. I personally, you've seen me do this many times, I set the board out. We have no intention of playing it, I just want to see how everything works together, so that then when we come to play a new game that neither of us have played before, at least one of us has a grasp of it, or you'll have read through the rules first, so you can explain to me, no, it's this, this and this. It's just taking that time to prepare. It's reading the manual of anything. It's relatively straightforward.
Yeah. So our third and final point is have measured expectations. So don't go into a game thinking that you're going to love it from the very first play. Like we said, it can take a while to get used to a game, to understand how it works, and so it's generally once you've got used to it that you start to enjoy it. So don't think that you're going to enjoy it first time. Play it a few times over, play it with different people, with the different numbers of people, and just give the game a real chance.
Yeah, it's similar to we said in our previous video, give it a chance. This may not be a complete success the first time, but if you if you've done your research properly, you've prepared properly, and you're sure that this is something that you will enjoy, then don't just give up over the first play. Go back to it, do try it again, try a different strategy. If it's a strategy game, try different players. You'll be surprised how often it's just someone in the group that
is ruining it for you.
Yeah. And then we will reiterate a point that we made last time when we were talking about finding ways of teaching other people. In finding ways of teaching yourself and figuring out new games, is find what works for you. If looking at videos isn't how you work, great, don't do it, but you only know that through trying. If reading the rules and setting it all up like I do isn't helpful for you, stop doing it. All we're saying is give it a go, find what works for you, don't just assume you'll get it first time. It may put you off, which is not what we want at all.
Yeah. So that's it for today's Win Some Loosemore. We'll see you next time. But in the meantime, subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter. What's the Twitter?
At WSomeLmore is our Twitter. Yes, when you're subscribing, don't forget to hit the little bell so you stay notified when we put new videos up.
Keep us updated on whether you're enjoying these videos or what you expect or would like to see from us next time. And we will see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.